it's Rick. I'm back for Pixi Does Designs. Today we're going to be using the gingerbread paper pad, the Gingy dress up stamps and dies, and the Mailbox Dies. So I've already pre-cut everything. I've actually stamped and colored all my images that we're going to use today off screen. I've cut this from craft cardstock. This is the base of the mailbox. So I have scored and I have folded the score lines, and now I'm going to come around with some brown inks and give it a gingerbread look. I started out with my light ink first. It's just a toffee color. And then I'm going to come in with a richer brown in just a minute. But we're going to go around all the edges of all of the die cut pieces for our box. You need one base, one of the little pieces I'm working on now. This is going to be the rounded top, two of the side pieces, and then a couple of the other pieces from the dies. It's actually super easy to put together. This is the closure. I've cut one from that craft cardstock and one from the gingerbread paper pack. I used only 2 sheets of the 6x6 paper pack to get everything I needed for this panel. So there is the die cuts. So you've got our base right here. We're going to start putting this together. So you're going to put this on your side, and you're going to line it up at the very bottom, right where that last little line is. I found it easier to kind of flip it over and line it up from that direction to make sure it was all nice and lined up. But that base fits perfectly aligned with the inside of the side piece. So I've got that lined up. I'm just using liquid glue. So we are going to use some reverse tweezers to kind of help us hold everything together in a minute. But I'm using the Barely Art glue, so it grabs super quick. So I'm just lining that up. Like you saw there, I just folded it over so I could line everything up. And I'm just going to make sure I get everything nice and in place right there. It's so pretty. It's starting to look so cute. I'm going to add a little bit of a bead of glue on that little angled cut there with the die makes. And I'm going to kind of push that into the side to kind of start building my base up. It doesn't take a lot of glue. Just a little bit, and I am going to use my reverse tweezers to kind of hold it in place for that glue to catch. Just right here, so that makes it a lot easier because we don't have 4 hands, so it made it a little easier to do it that way. So I've got that side held in place, and I'm going to start attaching the other side of the mailbox. Just in that little bitty spot. And if you don't put glue there, your box is probably going to fall apart. This just makes it nice and easy to put together. I did put the glue on the wrong flap to begin with. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm just going to kind of align that up just where it kind of fits right into place, and I'm going to take and hold it with my tweezers, hold that side, and bing bam boom, there is the structure of our box already completed. Now for the outside, the longest part, you're going to make sure that you break the fiber of your cardstock, especially at the top, to get that rounded look. And the more you break those fibers, the better off you're going to be. And had I done this over, I would have done it just a little bit different. And we'll talk about that when we get done. Or as we're working through it, I'll tell you the parts I would have done a little bit different when we get there. So I'm just adding glue to what I decided was the back of my box. I'm just going to do it on those flaps. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue to those flaps at the very top right there. So I'm just lining this up into place first. That was easiest. I'm going to flip it over to the inside. I'm going to press everything down with my bone folder. I couldn't find my regular bone folder, so I had to grab one from the stash. So we're going to take and add glue to the front. This is where I would have waited. I would have done the rest of the top first and then put this on. But I wasn't thinking. So do the top first before you put your front flap on. It makes it a lot easier since I have made this a couple times now. So, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to go roll with it. We're going to go ahead and put that on. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue at the bottom to make sure the feet are attached. I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing this. Apparently I wasn't, because I knew I had to get that top on. And it's never easy to do it with the front on your box. It makes it easier to do it after. So I just wasn't thinking. So do as I say, not as I do. Remember, do your top first, then put the front on. All right, so I'm going to add a little liquid glue there, press those into place on the little flaps. And then we're going to start attaching at the top. This is where I realized, oh, I probably should, or actually when we get into it a little bit more, I was like, oh, I should have done the front last, but I didn't. All right, so I'm just going to add little beads of glue, and I'm going to start molding the round part of the mailbox over on top. And it does just kind of press into place. You just do have to work it a little bit. You have to work on the inside, which is why I shouldn't have put the front on. But I did figure out a little hack here in just a second to make it a little bit easier on myself as I fiddle with the glue. Because I needed to really have my fingers inside of the box to get this to hold into place. So that's why I said do as I say, not as I do. Don't put the front on first. Do your top first and then put the back, then put the front on. The front flap or back flap. I don't remember what that is. I think it's the back flap. It's the back flap. Because this is the front. Because that's going to be where you're going to get your mail out at. And yes, there is a little envelope tie that goes with this that you can make a cute little envelope and add into your little thing that you can, you actually be super cute to use the envelope and put little messages in it and for somebody and drop one in there every day. All right, so this is where I figured out to glue that completely down on the front first, since I'd messed up and did that other panel when I shouldn't have. And now I'm going to take and kind of pop that out and add glue to my little flaps, and I'll just stick them back in. It was easier to do it this way for me since I should have left that off. And I just slide them into place, and I can just kind of reach in there and kind of hold them until that glue sets up, which with the Barely Art glue, thank goodness, doesn't take a long time. But you do have to kind of manipulate it around. So we're going to get this all together in just 1 second. I kept pushing a little hard and pushed it out. So I'm pinching on the outside and pinching on the inside to make sure I get everything in there. I got a couple of little spots right here that I needed to attach. And that is our getting done. So I got that in there. And there is the base of our mailbox. I'm going to go ahead and push that out just a little bit. I obviously forgot a little bit of glue right there. And I'll clean off any excess. But you can see how that looks like a gingerbread. That's why I did it with the craft and then the ink blending on the inking on the sides, because I wanted it to look like gingerbread since I was using the gingerbread paper and the die set and the stamp set. Which, by the way, if you're watching this when this video comes out, the Gingy dress up stamps and dies are on sale. They're 30% off using the code until the 14th of July, 2024. I'll put that in the information below in the description of this video, so you can take advantage of that. This is coming out on Friday the 12th, so you have a couple of days to grab that and save 30% on that cute little stamp set. All right, I'm just making sure I have everything lined up. I'm pushing in from the back to line up that paper on the side. There's my little flap. I put in the little brad. It does take a little brad that you need. And the only one I could find was a white little flower. I have tons of brads somewhere, and I just couldn't find them. So I've added the little flap to the back. This is the handle. And I am going to take and just kind of bend that to the inside and outside. Add a little glue to attach that to the mailbox flap. And then I'm going to dress it up a little bit in just a minute. This is the flap for the mailbox slit. I'm thinking about this now as I'm rewatching this video doing the voiceover. I probably would have attached all this first before assembling. I think that probably would have been a little easier. So there's the back of our front of our mailbox. So it just goes in right there. There's another die that cuts out the little front right here we're putting in. We're just kind of going to arrange that. Okay, here is where I'm going to add a little decorations to my mailbox. I use the cookies. What are these cookies? Give me just a second. They are the chocolate chip cookie sprinkle shaker bits. Yeah, chocolate chip cookie sprinkle bits. I use 2 of those to add for the inside. Here's that cute little envelope I told you about you could add a little message to and not seal it. You could just slip your little message in there, and it just slides right into the box. Here we're going to add our gingerbread and house, and our little girl gingerbread, and our little boy gingerbread, and I'm going to add their little accessories. Here's his little scarf, or hat. It's a hat. Here's the scarf, and I just attached those. I just added a little liquid glue behind each of them and put them where I wanted them to go on the mailbox. And we're going to add a little bow to her head to make her have a nice little bow. Add a little bit more glue behind our gingerbread house over there. And then I'm going to put in my sentiment on the top. It says, letters to Santa, and I started with Santa first. And I had to make sure I didn't have it upside down, which I almost did. So we're just going to attach Santa, and I used some silver cardstock for that I had in my stash. And here is letters and 2, and this all comes in the die set for the mailbox. So I thought it was super cute, and since it's Christmas in July, you might as well put it on there. I also added a few little silver snowflakes, which also, that snowflake die is also in the mailbox die set. And these are my embellishments for my little project today. I'm going to add those 3, 2 around the front, 1 at the top, as a look at the project. And I will catch you guys in the next video. If you like this video, you're probably going to like the one coming up next. Here's some looks at the projects in photography form, and I will see you guys again soon. Happy crafting!